What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Final Fantasy. We are messing with a brand new loadout. We pretty much changed everything that we had on. So we are going with Bahama with Wings of Light, which we mastered. Then we have Will-o'-the-Wisps here, and Gigaflare, of course, we kept that. Going down to Deadly Embrace, we have that. We have Gouge, and then we have Impulse. I wanted to try this out. It looks quite interesting. And then we dropped Ramu, we dropped Judgment Bolt and the Conductor, Lightning Rod, for Titanic Block, then Satellite. That seems quite good. Anything you attack is basically going to get machine gunned by those. That seems like an interesting way to keep up the pressure. And then we have Upheaval for just a big AoE ground and pound, which also seems fun. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, we did Upheaval for that. We dropped the Wind-Up Medallion since we're not using it anymore. We're using the Gouge buff still, and Will-o'-the-Wisps duration buff. Now, where were we heading to next? I suppose we should go ahead and swing down to Northreach first. Go help the dame out. Sounds like they've been going through it pretty hard, so.
First we find Isabel.
Dalimil seems like it has a pretty good amount of defenses. Being out in the desert, they had basically an Imperial private army down there, so I'm not too worried about Dalimil. Northreach has these Bozo Imperials, which I'm sure are on the down and down, since that Emperor is dead and the Crystalline Dominion is just gone.
I can't do it.
I figured they'd all be breaking under the heat.
My lord, milady.
We received the dame's message. There have been sightings of strange creatures, I understand.
With the blue eyes. Yes. Like a Kashyyyk, but different. They've taken so many. I've lost count.
A Kashyyyk, but different.
Ultimus thralls. And what of your mistress? Is she here?
Oh, no. She went to the garrison to ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Then we'll look for her there.
She is way too deep in pretty dresses to be messing around in the front lines talking to soldiers. She is not built for fighting like that. I love what they did with the sky. It looks like the world is ending. It really helps it create that impression. Also, I may have developed a side addiction to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, like I talked about in my other episode, how I bought all the remastered early Rockstar games.
Half the garrison's been slaughtered by those things. We lost the captain this very morning.
We've tried requesting reinforcements, but there's been no word from the capital or the Dominion in days. What more would you have us do?
I would have you do your duty. Those at the Vale look to me for protection. And protect them I shall. Because they are my charges, and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten, the people of this town are your charges. But more than that, they are your people. Your sisters, your brothers, your lovers. So you have a choice. Lay down your sword and watch as they are slaughtered, or take it up and do what is right.
Pretty good pep talk.
She speaks the truth, you know. This here, it's all we have. It's all that's left.
What we have left is our lives. Do you really want us to lose them as well?
It doesn't stop here,
Not if we
does it?
don't have to. Look, there's a cask under the captain's bunk. Let's talk about this over a drink, eh?
I'm listening.
You know, I never understood thought processes like that. Like, oh, I don't want to die here. The fighting doesn't end at Northreach. The Akashic don't all pack up and go home after Northreach. You'll have to face off against us eventually.
Ah, Clive.
No time like the
I
present.
didn't expect help to arrive so quickly. And sought to take matters into my own hands.
It was a noble effort. But I thought you might still need some support.
How like you to consider my needs. What we need to consider is where the creatures came from. The way the survivors speak of them, one would think they appeared out of thin air. And perhaps they did. It's hard to know what to believe these days.
We'll talk to the survivors.
Yeah, there's no sense kicking the can down the road because it's coming for you regardless. And again, you may as well fight today and give all these people a chance instead of abandoning them just to have to fight the fire you're avoiding eventually anyway. Like my favorite movie of all time says, death smiles at every man. All the man can do is smile back.
You're a pikeman, yes? What happened?
I've got family in Moor. I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see if they were all right. And a pack of them glowing things found me in the meadow. I ran for my life. I never did get to the village.
Leave that to us.
My family.
There's a similar kind of speech in Braveheart too, where if you ran from the battlefield today, would you trade all those days from then to back now to come back here in one chance to do the right thing? Better to die today than to live another 30 years and regret every day.
Did you see the creatures that attacked you?
Braveheart speech I'm not so familiar with, but general concept is what I said.
They
Not
came
word
out
for
of
word.
nowhere. They went for Joseph first, then me, and then they were just gone.
Do you remember where you were?
On the road from Oriflamme. We just passed Moor when... Where's my Joseph?
It's all right. Just rest now.
At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now. We should head for more.
Yeah, it's not that far away, just a hop and a skip. It was right up the road. We'll take Ambrosia. Of course, my favorite speech of all time is from Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure if I've talked about this at all on the channel, but I'm actually a Lord of the Rings mega fan. Read all the books, watched all the movies, dove into lore, watched like side series. A lot of them are actually abominations, but hey ho, we'll focus on the positive here, which is the books in the original trilogy. We don't talk about the hobbits. But that before battle speech at the Fields of Pelennor in the third movie, King Theoden's speech is, in my opinion, the best movie speech before a battle of all times. And honestly, if I was about to ride into death, I can't think of any other speech that would hit better than that. Ride for ruin, and the world's ended. Screaming death at your opponents before you charge into them. Well, there's certainly an ether flood here.
Clive, look!
I see them. With me.
I hit the wrong button again. I really gotta get used to what my new maps are. The Q is what I was looking for. I did upgrade this too. This apparently goes all the way up to 4 now, so I'm gonna keep swinging around. I want to see what a 4-piece mega flare looks like. Just can't get them to run around a little. Alright, let's see it. Good God. Bahamut is a cool tree.
Should I prime?
Save your strength.
That's quite a lot of stagger damage you get out of that. see if we can hit him with the good stuff. They look great too. That absolutely claps cheeks. I'm a little unfamiliar on my layout still, but once I get the hang of that, I think that's going to be very fun combinations to play with. Just changed my entire button layout, so it's going to take a second.
Do you think there are more?
There are always more. But I'd say we've done what we can for the time being.
Then we should let Isabel know.
You have the town's thanks.
Don't thank us yet. There will be more. Many more. And you'll need to be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes, milady. The garrison will be ready.
Philippe here has convinced most of the men to remain at their posts. For now, at least.
And how did you convince Philippe?
Hearing that the Dame would look kindly on any man who committed himself to the task certainly didn't hurt.
I suppose that question just answered itself.
It's not the most selfless of motives, I'll admit. But whatever it takes, eh? Now me, I never needed convincing. I became a soldier to protect the people I love. And the people I love include the ones standing before me.
Handsome and chivalrous.
Now, if you don't mind, I have sentries to post. Milady.
I mean, I'm standing before you too. Does that mean you love me?
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems. But it has solved one, and that's one fewer than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
Alright, let's just take a quick gander. Gear and icons. We have Will of the Wakes, that's my big damage. This is my stagger. This is also a stagger. The Garuda is my stagger bar. Tie-in we have satellite and upheaval. This is my AoE. My general combat. And this is the big damage burst. Okay. It'll take a little getting used to, but in general that's what it is. So Garuda is what I'm going to be dumping on the bosses. This is what I'm going to be doing most of the time when I'm fighting, and I'm just always going to open combat with this. Okay. Let's head to Dalimil, see what we can do for them. Give me more cannon fodder to practice my abilities against.
Sid! Oh, your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should
He's
I
a
be worried?
flatterer, huh?
Ah, you haven't been introduced.
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalimil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. They left with our food and guild days ago. Any idea where they went? The desert's a big place. Your guess is as good as mine. But the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing, it will be our own. Now, I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to us?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Sid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. They're just across the courtyard.
Yeah, but you might lose the last of your defenders if they don't take outside interruption very well.
Suppose we just follow the shouting.
I just realized I forgot to turn in all that renown from our hunts last episode, so we'll do that before we wrap this one.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood, it's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandits' ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you. Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
She's too afraid of the bandits, and he's too fast to put his trust in mercenaries.
Victor.
That's my opinion on everything I just heard.
What's he doing here?
Food is important, though. Wouldn't be much good for Dalimil if they all starved to death.
Sid. And Lady Jill. What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalimil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools.
He sent you on the same gig, huh?
If you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalimil's problems.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
The solution to the skies, I'm sure, is going to be removing Ultima's head from his shoulders. In his actual form, not the bullshit clone we keep chopping to pieces.
So, you see my predicament? What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could set the entire town alight. My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Go kill all the bandits in the lair. Get rid of the problem at its stem.
If it were my namesake, he'd let them choose for themselves, and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization would be enough to make them question the ingredients. While it's plain neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt their own. Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves. Why fight each other
when all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits?
They're
It
onto
appears we
something.
have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly. I'll speak with Natalie.
As you wish.
The real play here is to just go nuke the bandits in their base and bring all the food they've stolen back.
Town. That may prove useful. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. You need only play along.
Play along?
What he means to say is yes.
Isn't that what I meant to say, Jill?
Picture it, Conrad. Ah, here she is. The Lady of the Spear herself. Conrad, may I introduce you to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
A pleasure, my lady.
The pleasure is all mine.
As I told you, I summoned the commander here from Canver to inquire about a contract.
Victor says you told him no. That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalimil's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings? That a band of beardless youths could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and his ego, huh?
We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
Morale's always higher when you're fighting for home.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you called the brightest candle in the crypt.
Crazy.
And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid. Well played, my lady.
It's all about the ego. That is pride enough to make him fight. It's just hope he can convince his men to fight for better things than ego and pride. I mean, let's face it, we'll be doing most of the heavy lifting. We'll be on the front line of all this wherever it goes down.
If I had my pickaxe, I would.
I mean, it may still be possible to buy something. Ah, here he is now. Natalie, allow me to introduce Lord Underhill of Randalar's prestigious League of Merchants.
Lord Underhill. At your service.
Underhill?
I was just telling the good lady of our conversation, my lord. And
I talked to this woman when I was looking for what happened to the crystals.
Lubor says that not only are the granaries almost empty, but that war and the Blight mean this season's harvest won't be enough to fill them for winter.
Indeed, certainly that is the case. The nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices higher than most commoners can afford. It is only a matter of time before the peasants revolt.
It is worse than I thought. If what Lord Underhill says is true, I fear we have little hope of supplementing our stores, meager though they regrettably are. And while I applaud
You
your
laid on a little
endeavors
thick,
to
Lubor.
dissuade our more bellicose citizens from seeking vengeance, I sense Conrad is not wrong in his assessment of the bandits' likely return. Which means that now, more than ever, we will need to secure what little we still have. Food, weapons, herbs, everything. If our humble town is to endure not only this hardship, but those that are certain to follow, we must stand united.
All right. If it will help to protect my home, I'll do it.
That's the spirit.
But you needn't have gone through this charade.
I'm sure she remembers us. There's no way she doesn't.
Thank you, Clive. Your performance was nothing if not workmanlike.
She saw right through it.
No, I didn't say it was good. Merely that it produced the desired effect.
We might have gone a little far with the peasant revolt.
We'll be back at the Briar's Kiss, and we shall see what we face.
I'm in the market for Slayer and bandits, though, so...
I'm not convinced our roles in this ruse were entirely necessary.
It's because they weren't.
I don't know. Conrad seemed quite taken with you.
Well, hers definitely worked. She has like a secret admirer now. I'm sure she's gonna get a basket full of roses.
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad and Natalie have somewhat gracefully accepted their new roles. With time, they may even learn to.
Time no longer appears to be the luxury it was before lunch.
I take it your scouts found the bandits.
Technically, it would be the bandits who found my scouts. It appears they march for Dalimil as we speak.
About time.
All of them.
You're not serious.
They don't just want food, they want the whole damn town.
I have a favor to ask. I'm told the bandits march in two groups, one from the south and one from the desert, in a move doubtless intended to stretch our already gossamer-thin defenses.
Very well. Jill and I will meet those from the desert. But what of the rest?
The rest, my friend, the city shall fight. Together. The stakes, I concede, are high. But if this does not unite Dalimil, nothing will.
That is a lot of faith to put into those who had their hands around each other's throats but a moment ago.
Then it will be for us to see that their hands are kept occupied.
Nothing unites people like defending their homes.
I thought you might say that.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can.
And we will do the same.
It's pretty much a globally accepted fact that when you are invading people's homes, they'll fight to the end for it. You take a look at England during World War II, even Germany during World War II, when England bombed them to try and turn them against the leader. And they didn't. They just gathered even harder around them.
I'll take that one.
He's all yours.
See how they enjoy a big old mega flare, shall we? Give him a number 2. I'm gonna cook it all the way, we don't have time. Yeah, I like this setup. Especially the little sentinel turret things. Every time I hit something with my basic magic combo, they just pepper them like machine guns.
The townspeople. Could they have held out?
I don't hear any fighting. What do you think?
That we should hurry.
Let's go check. I need to remember that on my main crowd control tree that I also have a parry. Like they did good to me.
Natalie, I owe you an apology. You did well out there. The inn would have been lost had you not held the line.
Without you, there would have been no line to hold. You saved us, Conrad. You saved Dalimil.
We all saved Dalimil.
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked, Sid. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Calm now, Victor. Why quibble over the details? We are united, and that is all that matters. As for you, Sid, you fight considerably better than you act.
Crazy you don't think I'm talented.
Take that as a compliment.
Another 500 ability points for that's huge.
Our friends seem to have things under control. For now, at least. Let's go and put Otto's mind at rest.
Yeah, let's go back to the hideaway. I want to see what we got for all those renown rewards. Maybe we got something for one of Bahamut's. We surely have some. I did pretty much every hunt but one. I just didn't do the last one.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
What do you have
Here's
for me,
everything we've
Desiree?
received and everything promised.
1500 ability points is huge. Hugo's men are gone, and with them the fear in our hearts. Once more shall the markets echo with mirth and merriment, and it is you who we have to thank. Dalimil Spicer.
All yours.
The next one is at 1120. We're at 1085, so we're not that far away from that either.
Come again. I may have more for you.
Right. Given that we've been running for around 33 minutes, and I'm not trying to start on a brand new quest that's going to take us down a big old line right at the end of an episode, I'm going to wrap this one up here and split it. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, as always, there is a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Final Fantasy. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.